Hey guys, I'm Chris Buck and a very warm welcome to Friday Fretworks. This week got something cool for you, and that is a 1956 Stratocaster played through a 1957 Fender Bandmaster. A very cool little period correct rig from an incredibly important time in history, owned by Andrew Raymond, I should say, of Lucky Fret Guitars in Shoreditch, who very kindly invited me down to his place to check out his immense collection of guitars and amps. So thank you, Andrew. As I was saying, a very cool little period correct rig from an incredibly important time in history. 1954 seeing the introduction of the Fender Stratocaster, and 1957 with said Fender Stratocaster seeing Buddy Holly and the Crickets bringing out That'll Be the Day, which for many people really kind of signalled the birth of rock and roll, very much set the tone for everything that was to follow after. So having a chance to actually sit down and plug into this rig just gave me some little insight, I guess, into the sound of the period and the dynamism and excitement of that immediacy of that sound that you associate with early rock and roll. So a very cool opportunity. Only thing I should mention, the only non-period correct part of the rig was a TC Electronic Hall of Fame mini pedal set to a spring reverb. I don't believe the Hall of Fame mini came out until about 1965. So joking aside, it was the only little luxury I allowed myself, because unless you are Gearman dude, everyone, including myself, sounds worse without reverb. But just to give you a little bit of background on the actual guitar, as I said, 1956, it's stamped, the neck pocket is stamped as, or the bottom of the neck I should say, is stamped as October 1956. I'm not sure when the body was stamped, but 56 was a pretty big year for Fender in that it saw the transition between ash and older bodies. It saw a transition from the smaller kind of circular shaped string tree through to the butterfly string tree that we associate with Fender later on. Interestingly, this guitar has an older body, but the earlier style little kind of circular string tree. So two assumptions have been made from that. Doing a little bit of research for this video, I found a guitar previously owned by Lenny Kravitz, currently for sale on Reverb. I'll stick a link in the description box below. 33 serial numbers away with a butterfly string tree. So the assumption being, I guess at some point in those 33 guitars, they made the transition from the circular string tree through the butterfly string tree. However, more likely, Leo Fender being notoriously thrifty and very kind of economic, shall we say, around the workshop, it's more than likely that they just had some of the older string trees knocking around and decided to add it to this neck whenever it was completed. However romantic the assumption being that at some point in those 33 guitars saw a pretty big historical change. In regard to the guitar itself, hands down one of the nicest Strats I've ever played. Quite a drastic kind of V-shaped neck, which I'd never really encountered before, but after maybe kind of, a minute getting used to it, very comfortable in the hand and a kind of very even taper lower down the neck, although a fairly distinct, almost ridged kind of V-shape up nearer the nut, which was a bit unusual, but quite cool to be honest. Three-way pickup position, I should say, although if you spend a little bit of time, as I do in the video, trying to wedge it in the 2 and 4, you can get them, and man is it worth the reward. They sound absolutely incredible. The bridge and the middle position in particular, just being chimey, being quacky, being everything that you want out of a great Fender Strat for that position. Just a very cool guitar that's seen a fair amount of wear over the years. Has not been abused, but likewise has been used and has been gigged by the look of it. The only non-original thing on this guitar, as I'm aware, is the frets, which when Andrew came to own this guitar were pretty badly tram-lined and pretty much unusable. The frets that would have come with this guitar were quite thin and not really kind of conducive to more modern kind of bluesy bending and playing, I guess. So that modification, if you would call it a modification, that kind of upgrade, really kind of makes it feel like a very modern guitar, to be honest. A lot of vintage guitars, you pick them up and you're aware that you're playing something that is maybe 60 years old. This felt like a guitar that had come out of the factory yesterday in terms of playability. Just very, very playable. Gorgeous, gorgeous sounding Strat. And a very cool opportunity just to play something that, is a very kind of important moment in Fender's history and musical history, as I said. So, thank you, Andrew. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Friday Fretworks, and until next week, I shall see you around. Cheers, guys. Take care.
Thank